Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering Clemson joining FSU, looking to exit the ACC, free agency in the Dallas Cowboys, debate about Caitlin Clark, and make sure that you guys stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into the oddities of the day. Before we start, I wanted to ask that you guys like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is gsmcpodcast.net. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Hello, Tate. How are you doing?
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. And I want to
Faith
apologize.
is struggling a little bit.
I want to apologize to the audience today that I don't look like my normal self. I just have a really, really bad migraine today. And when I get migraines, I get migraines. So
Actually, you look all studious today. The glasses, that's a different look.
Thank you.
That I'm used to.
They're not prescription. They're the blue light glasses, but they really help when I have headaches because my eyes aren't straining looking at the computer screen, and my ring light doesn't bother me as much. So
Interesting. It's like, don't take this the wrong way, so don't think I'm attacking you. It's kind of that, like, you ever watch the movie and you have the nerdy girl and the nerdy girl with the glasses.
I take my glasses off and then I
Way to get a load of me.
Well, I don't have makeup on today either, so I don't think me taking my glasses off would make much of a difference.
You're getting Faith in all her glory today.
Natural glory today, yes.
Yes. So guess what, Faith? I don't have any makeup on either today, so it's okay.
Well, you always look beautiful, so.
Ooh, that's my girl. All right, let's dive into this.
Oh boy, guys. You won't believe it. Some more stuff has gone down in what I call the reality TV show of college football. So Clemson has joined Florida State, looking to exit the ACC as latest school to file a lawsuit over grant of rights. Clemson has filed a lawsuit against the ACC in an attempt to break the league's grant of rights agreement. The suit, which was filed in Pickens County, South Carolina, court, is the second such lawsuit against the ACC, joining Florida State's previous legal action taken against the conference. The school asserts that the ACC's extortion exit feed and control of media rights after leaving the conference is ultimately unenforceable and prevents Clemson from doing what is right for its institution. The lawsuit frames the ACC's exit fees as penalties and damages, which ultimately are excessive for the amount of damages caused to the ACC by Clemson leaving the conference. Additionally, it claims that Clemson's agreement with the ACC only signs over television rights as long as Clemson remains a member of the league. So, who saw this coming? I saw
Honestly,
this coming.
This one caught me by surprise. I wasn't. Everyone's been speculating about Clemson actually ready to get out of this thing. And you knew that Clemson was kind of waiting in the weeds, hoping that, you let Florida State go out there and you see what happens to them. If they get zapped and blown up, then to stay in the weeds. But for them to jump out there and say, no, we're done.
Yeah.
It's huge. I mean, that's what shocked me the most. But it should not have. Because of the fact that this is all coming from, in my opinion, what the ACC just agreed to when it came down to the college football playoffs and their payout. What the ACC has agreed to is that they're a third tier conference. They have, by agreeing to the pay structure where the SEC and the Big Ten gets paid more than they do makes them a third-rate conference. And that hurts everyone in the conference. If they would, it's different if they came in there and said it's like it's always been. It's an even split among all the Power Five conferences or the Power Four conferences. Now we're going to toss out that Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they rolled over and let the Big Ten and the SEC get not a little bit more money, but a massive chunk of the money, meaning almost 60% of the money goes to the Big Ten and the SEC, makes it so anyone in the ACC, anyone in the Big 12, in the world of name, image, and likeness, in general, facilities, everything is now a second tier organization or third tier organization. They will not be able to keep up with the Big Ten and the SEC. When you're talking about 30-something million a year for your television contract, when the Big Ten is almost up to 100 million, SEC is almost 70, 80 million, and you're only getting 30, I think it's like 30, 36 million. Now you're only getting a small percentage on the college football television contract, where these guys are getting a massive chunk, guaranteeing that both organizations are over 100 million. The longer this goes on, the further behind Clemson and Florida State becomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you this. Clemson is no third-rate program. Clemson has been winning national championships, have been winning games, has been competing with the they have a national championship too.
I mean, yeah. Last year they didn't do too great.
Well, that you know what, and that shows they didn't dive head first into name, image, and likeness. Mm-hmm. And they got punished for it.
Yeah.
And they realized, like, hey, we have to be competitive. In order to be competitive and stay on a national championship level, we have to bring in money. We mm-hmm. already have a television contract that takes us to 2036 that only gives us a small amount of money compared to the Big Ten and SEC. Now our conference agrees to give us even less money of the playoff. It's not even an equal split. Mm-hmm. We're also talking about a scenario where the Big Ten and the SEC could get more teams in the college football playoff automatically. Mm-hmm. Everything that the ACC has done has guaranteed that they are a second or third rate conference now. They have, without fighting for 1 second, has put themselves in a second-class citizen status. I don't blame them now for this lawsuit, and I think it's the right time to do it. And I'm going to tell you this. This is just the opening shot, because I think North Carolina and Miami are going to follow this. Mm-hmm. I don't have any inside information or anything like that, but Miami, North Carolina has to look at this and say, we're not second, third rate organizations. How can you, as I was joking around with you yesterday, if you're Clemson, if you're Florida State, if you're Miami, North Carolina, and you're looking around and you're saying, hey, Vanderbilt is going to bring in 4 times the money we're bringing in there. Rutgers is going to bring in 4 times the money we're going to get. That doesn't sit well. That cannot sit well with these teams that have been kind of college blue bloods. No team is going to settle for this. It was different when your crazy cousin from Florida is acting up, cousin Seminole. Mm-hmm. He's from Florida. He's crazy. They're just troublemakers. Mm-hmm. Now Clemson has joined it. Now it has teeth. It's
Yeah.
not Florida State. It's Florida State and Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
And those are two of the four biggest brands they have.
Mm-hmm.
They want out. Their top four programs, from everything I'm seeing, wants out of this
Mm-hmm.
out of this deal. The big challenge is going to be here. Can they get out? And if so, how much? You're talking about $150 million plus for breaking the contract, another $400 to $500 million for the television rights.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking 600 to $750 million to get out of this contract. So what they're doing, both of these guys, they're challenging the validity of the contract, and they're going at it in two different ways as well. Where Clemson is kind of saying like, we never really agreed to this. Florida State is kind of like, listen, they did not negotiate in good faith. This was not negotiated in what's best for the ACC, but what was best for the conference commissioner. Now, there's a lawsuit in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lawsuit
In South Carolina.
in South Carolina. Now you have Florida.
Yeah.
So, and Florida, like I said, Clemson no longer sitting in the back and waiting to see what happens, but going out in the forefront, all of a sudden gives Florida State a lot more credibility.
Mm-hmm.
It's different when you're the lone wolf. It's like this person's, no one's really taking him serious.
Yeah.
They're just upset. They got a raw. They didn't get to make the playoffs. They're upset. They want more money. They're just, the troublemaker. They're the outlier.
Mm-hmm.
But now, when you add Clemson adds major credibility to this. This is when you sit up and say, with Clemson joining, it's a matter of time before I feel like the ACC is done.
Yeah, I was gonna say it seems like depending on what happens with these two lawsuits, the ACC may end up being exactly how the Pac-12 is right now, and
Exactly.
eventually, dissipate. And it'll be interesting to see like who goes where. I probably feel like Clemson's gonna go to the SEC,
Clemson
likely.
is like, if they broke up, and I know this is all speculation,
Mm-hmm.
the one thing that is a no-brainer to me is Clemson to the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Clemson fits the SEC
Mm-hmm.
better than the ACC, in my opinion. Clemson is an SEC school.
Mm-hmm.
The question that I always go through in my head is the Florida schools, Florida and Miami. Florida, you mean Florida State and Miami. Got to make sure I say that very clearly. Florida State and Miami. Florida doesn't want either one of them in the SEC, but sometimes teams and conferences don't get what they wanted. Texas A&M did not want Texas in the SEC, and guess who's going to be playing in the SEC next year? Texas, exactly. But when you look at this, when you say Clemson and Florida State are now in the forefront, that's equivalent of saying Ohio State and Michigan won out of the Big Ten, or Alabama and Georgia won out of the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Now that is incredibly credible. I got nothing, no inside information, but I would not be shocked within a month if Miami and North Carolina joins in on this one. And now's the time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was against what Florida State was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I was 100% against it. But now what the ACC agreed to with the college football payout has made them a second class citizen. And at that point, you want to get off this sinking ship. It doesn't pay well, not compared to the other guys.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get even less. We're gonna have less of an opportunity. Honestly, I'm surprised with this arrangement, that the Big 12 isn't so happy. But the Big 12, I think the Big 12 is looking at big picture.
Yeah.
And they're saying, we're going to sit back. We're going to watch this dumpster fire. We're going to eat our popcorn
We're going to shut up.
and shut up. Watch the ACC blow themselves up because it's happening now. It is happening now. Big Ten is going to go and try to, maybe they grab Virginia or North Carolina or Duke or Miami or Florida State. Not sure where the Florida schools are going to go. And, the SEC is going to, they're going to grab Clemson or Florida State. Very curious about what happens with Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech is in the heart of SEC country.
Yeah.
In a major major city, but they don't feel SEC to me.
They don't.
They don't feel SEC to me. And so when the Big Ten and the SEC gets done picking their teams, what's left, the Big 12 is going to scoop up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think I can see the Big 12 just kind of sitting in the wing, just waiting there. Mm-hmm. Sitting there in the weeds, just waiting to see what happens. But it's happening now. I totally see a situation where they're going to come together and try to. I think those four schools are going to try incredibly hard to destroy the Granite's rights. And I now think they have before. No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't think it was, you signed this contract, you made this mistake by signing such a long contract. Mm-hmm. But now with the ACC agreeing to the revenue split for college football playoffs, that I think is egregious. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Now, people may disagree with me on that one, but that's my take on it.
Mm-hmm. I also I don't know, I feel like with how things are going right now, I feel like maybe in the next 5 years we're going to have a lot less conferences than what we have right now.
Yeah. I could see a scenario. Everyone's been talking about the 2 power conferences. Mm-hmm. I could see that scenario where it's just like the NFL, and I think it would work. Mm-hmm. You have the SEC, you have the Big Ten, you have those 2 conferences that's going to have 20 to 25 teams in each conference. Mm-hmm. They're going to play, and they'll have a college football playoff down to who wins, kind of like the NFL model, where there's an AFC and there's an NFC. Instead of AFC, NFC, it's going to be Big Ten, SEC, and you're going to play for that national championship. And it would solve everything. You could get the 2 conferences could agree on a commissioner to run things. You could break away from the NCAA, have your playoff the way you want to. You're both equals. You both are working together as equals. So it's not like SEC wants more than the Big Ten. They're going, so it makes it easy to split things up. ACC is gone. Pac-12 will be gone. The Big 12 is the one thing that I'm very curious to see what happens with.
Yeah.
So,
ooh, it's divorce court, baby.
It is. I mean, it doesn't I love saying this to you because I love seeing it through your eyes. As someone who lives in the heart of SEC country. I grew up in the heart of the Big Ten country. And you go to Georgia and then find out all the things that are going on behind the scenes
Yeah,
is
it's crazy.
shocking.
It is shocking.
Most people on campus have no clue all this crazy stuff is going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Mm-mm-mm. All right. Well, guys, with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about NFL free agency and the Dallas Cowboys. Are you shocked?
we'll talk about some other teams as well,
Yeah.
but for the most part, we're going to be talking
Yeah.
about the Cowboys because they're quite interesting.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, guys. Well, we'll be right back. So stick around.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing Clemson joining FSU, looking to exit the ACC, and now we're going to be talking about NFL free agency and the Dallas Cowboys. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is gsmcpodcast.net. Let's put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it just also really helps the show. So we'd appreciate it.
I like it. You may be playing injured, but you're still putting out that all-star performance.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see. Talk about stepping up to the plate.
Mm-hmm. We just got more of a mellow version of Faith today. That's all it is.
Nah, you're excellent, Faith. I'm happy to have you on your injured day.
Thank you. Alrighty, so it seems that some people are pretty upset about how the Dallas Cowboys are acting when it comes to free agency. So it always made sense that the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't be a huge player this offseason. They have to worry about what comes next with CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parson extensions. But that's why the team's owner, Jerry Jones, shouldn't have gotten anyone's hope up with his all-in speech. The two words,
the all-in just keeps coming up. Yeah, are you noticing this?
2 words we've been hearing about since what? When
the end of the playoffs.
Months
Before
ago.
I think it was before the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Cowboy fans aren't happy with the lack of activity after Jones set that expectation. In fact, they've lost some big players like Pollard, offensive line, Tyrone Smith, and Tyler Biadasz, and defensive lineman Durance Armstrong Jr. It's so bad that Cowboys executive vice president Stephen Jones had to calm the fans' nerves and walk back the all-in rhetoric. The Cowboys being passive in free agency always made sense. It's why the franchise owner shouldn't have been getting the fan base excited going into it. So I know that you are a Cowboys fan, and for all the viewers out there,
I'm a huge Cowboy fan.
Tate is a big Dallas Cowboys fan. So, first, as a Cowboys fan, I would like to hear how you feel about it. And then I would like to hear your professional opinion.
I'm a level-headed Cowboy fan. there are some Cowboy fans
There,
that
yeah.
are not realistic. When they hear Jerry Jones said, "Hey, we're all in," that means like, oh, Jerry's going out. He's going to get Patrick Mahomes. He's going to bring in Russell
Good
Wilson.
luck.
You
Good luck with
know,
that.
he's bringing in Aaron Rodgers too. He's gonna, he's bringing Tony Dorsett and Emmitt Smith out of retirement. You gotta be realistic on what your
Yeah.
definition of all in.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are doing Cowboys things, which many people disagree with me on, but I think they're one of the best ran organizations in football. The Cowboys haven't been the big splashy free agent signing team since back when they brought in Deion Sanders long time ago. Dallas tends to, their definition of going all in is going out and drafting their players that they want, re-signing their people in-house. When Jerry Jones was talking about we're all in, it was we're all in on bringing Dak back. We're all in on making sure Micah Parsons stays there. We're all in on making sure CeeDee Lamb is in. But when you, as a Cowboy fan, and you start looking at some of the things, and you look at, oh, the Bears went out and got Keelan Allen, and it's like, oh, what are the Cowboys going to do? Green Bay went out and upgraded to Josh Jacobs. Oh, wow, what are the Cowboys going to do? Oh, Pittsburgh went out and they got Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. It's like, ooh, what are the Cowboys going to do? You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, you look around, it's like, oh, wait a minute. Now, the Atlanta Falcons, they went out, they got Kirk Cousins and Darnell Mooney. Okay. That's not the Cowboys program.
Yeah.
They're not going to go out and get these guys. But that's what a fan wants. A fan is fanatic. And maybe not the team, not the person that needs to be making these decisions. Sometimes a level head is what's needed. I have not had a problem with the fact that Dallas has not gone out and signed a major free agent. I never thought they were going to go out and get a major free agent in the first place. I thought if there was one free agent that they would go out and get, I thought maybe they would go out and get like Derrick Henry or someone like that, like a major running back. But even that, I'm like, that doesn't fit what they do. They tend to go and draft them a running back, bring them up through the system. They tend to go and sign their guys.
Yeah. Why are these people so upset when the NFL draft hasn't even happened yet?
Girl, I know you got a headache, but I want to dive through the screen and hug you on that one. Wait.
The NFL draft is like not even a month away. Like, chill out a second. Take a chill pill. Take a chill pill.
People are losing their minds. The worst thing you can do, you want to kill a franchise, and I've seen many franchises get destroyed because of this. This is the time where teams destroy their franchise for a decade plus. They go out and they do that big splash free agent signing. They give them a big, huge contract, and they bring in another one, a big, huge signing. And most teams don't end up like the Rams, where they went out and they signed a bunch of big players, and they're kind of in salary cap hell, but they did get a Super Bowl out of it. Most teams don't go and say, hey, we're going to sign this guy and this guy and this guy. And next thing you know, you have all these bad contracts and nothing to show for it. Look at the Denver Broncos right now. They went out 2 years ago and they paid Russell Wilson a massive amount of money. 2 years later, Russ is in the deuces. He's over at Steel City,
And
hanging
he's
out.
making money.
Yes, hanging out with Justin Fields. And the Denver Broncos are strapped.
Yeah.
$85 million in dead cap money. Mm-hmm. They don't have any money to go out and get any major free agents, to go out and sign any major blockbuster trades, because they're in salary cap hell, because they went out this time of year and they signed Russ 2 years ago to a massive contract. Yeah. It cripples teams. Mm-hmm. That's why when the first day of free agency, when all the big names are coming off the board and people are like, why isn't Dallas making that move? Well, I'm glad they're not. What,
I want to tell Dallas Cowboy fans, it's okay. Wait a minute. Calm down.
Woosah.
It's not over yet. Get into the zone. Get into your zen. Meditate for a little bit. It's okay. It's not over.
I would rather see Dallas make smart moves in the draft. Mm-hmm. What I am worried about Dallas is on those 3 contracts that everyone keeps talking about. Dak could easily end up being the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Mm-hmm. Micah Parsons could be the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. Mm-hmm. CeeDee Lamb could easily be the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history. That's not sustainable.
No.
And that's the scary thing. How big of a contract, how deep into the salary cap are you going to go to sign those 3 guys? Mm-hmm. Because, every Dallas Cowboy fan want all 3 of them back, right?
Right.
Well, you can't keep all 3 of them and be in free agency spending like your daddy Warbucks, because there's a thing called a salary cap.
Yeah.
You go out and you get this big name free agent, this big name free agent, this free agent. Mm-hmm. None of them are going to be like, you know what? Pay me league minimum. No, all these top free agents want CSC, cash, sweet cash. And they're going to want their cash. And if you sign all these free agents, you won't have money to have CeeDee Lamb on the team. Mm-hmm. You won't have Dak, and you won't have Micah. You may get one. If you start going out and signing these free agents right now, you're going to lose all 3 of them. Maybe you get one. But if you do what the Cowboys are doing, which is being smart, I look at this as the Cowboys are running a very smart organization. It's not me as a Cowboy fan. I'm just looking at it as a businessman. Mm-hmm. I have 3 big dollar guys that I have to pay, and I only have so much to pay. I'm going to sign my 3 big name guys. I've already said I don't know if I would sign Dak, not to the money that he wants. I'd be cool with 50 million for Dak, and then I'm going to strengthen my team through the NFL draft. I'm going to bring in younger, talented players that are way cheaper. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can go out and sign a Derrick Henry for $15 million a year, or you can wait to the 3rd round, 4th round, and get you a top young running back that's coming in the league for a couple million a year. Mm-hmm. Maybe use that money so you can get sign Micah. I'm not going to go out and bring in a high dollar another wide receiver when I haven't even paid CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to lock CeeDee Lamb down, and then I'm going to maybe draft me another couple more receivers, hoping they hit in the draft. Mm-hmm. But these are the things you have to do. Like losing Tyron Smith, that was a loss. But how are they going to do? What are they going to do? Are they going to go early and strengthen that offensive line by drafting early and getting them some defensive players? All of that is things that are coming down the line. All in is, did they draft well? Did they sign their quality guys? Are they still a contender for the playoffs? This whole thing about we have to be a Super Bowl contender is not realistic. What you have to do is there's steps to this game. You have to make sure you have a playoff contending team, make the playoffs, and then make those moves. You look at the Detroit Lions, their big plan last year, they got to the playoffs, and they made it a lot further than anyone thought they would. But the fact is, in order to be in it, in order to win it, you got to be in it. And that's what Dallas is doing, in my eyes. Yeah. I think they're making the right decisions. You can watch some of the other shows, and it's kind of like, what are they doing? What are they doing? But the smart teams make smart decisions. Like, even look at Kansas City. Their big moves. What did Kansas City do? They retained players. Chris Jones, Marquise Brown. They locked in key players on their team. They're going to fill the rest in with draft picks and some other free agents down the road. That's what a successful organization does. Exactly what Dallas is doing. They want to sign their key players and then fill in the rest of the gap through the draft and through free agents that aren't going to break the bank. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Now, with this one, changing the subject a little bit, there are some teams when this whole thing was about teams that have done a great job and teams that have done a poor job and free agents. And Dallas was considered one of the teams that did a free agent.
The worst.
Yes. I tell you what, I'm looking at it and it's like the Rams losing Aaron Donald. That's a big loss. I mean, your Hall of Fame, Pro Bowl after Pro Bowl defensive player just decided at the peak of his powers, he's out. Minnesota losing Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
that's tough. Denver's crippled. Denver
is going to be sitting in the ICU for a hot minute.
Yes, exactly. They got $85 million on the cap. The only thing Denver can hope for is that they can draft well.
Yeah.
They're going to have to draft well. They put down the Los Angeles Chargers as a team that has issues. I think the Chargers did something incredibly smart. They re-signed their 2 priority defensive players and restructured their contracts so they could keep them. And now Jim Harbaugh is going to start drafting players. One thing that people do not understand, when you bring in a guy like a Jimmy Johnson or a Pete Carroll or, a Jim Harbaugh, one thing that they have an advantage on all other teams is the fact that these guys have been coaching in college. They've been recruiting all these guys. So because they've been recruiting them, they've been watching them from high school all the way through. So these guys have an advantage in the draft coming in. I think Jim Harbaugh is going to have a major advantage where there's going to be a lot of diamonds in the rough, those guys that no one else saw that are going to be breakout players. Don't be surprised over the next couple of years if you don't start seeing that with the Chargers. The Chargers, I think, are making a smart decision, even with their salary cap issues. I think they're making smart decisions. I don't quite know what Minnesota's doing. Minnesota's in a straight reset. And the Bears, all of a sudden, I wouldn't have done it this way, but the Bears have made their decision. They went out and they got Keenan Allen. Incredibly smart decision. If you're gonna draft a quarterback, Caleb Williams with that first pick, make sure he has a number one target, someone to go to, a smart veteran wide receiver. I like that move. I'm very curious to see what they do, what else they do. I would like to see the Chicago Bears, now that they've made this decision, the decision is made. They're going to draft Caleb Williams. With that number 9 pick, I think it's the 9 pick, I would like to see them trade back on that position and get some more players. So I'd love to see them trade out of that number 9 spot because they need a lot more weapons. So would love to see what happens there. But that's kind of my overall take there.
Yeah. Ooh-wee. Y'all need to take a chill pill. Y'all really need to take a chill pill.
Talking about my Cowboy fans.
I'm talking about all of them. Everybody. They're all upset that
people are fanatics about their team
doing stuff with free agency, and it's like, hold your horses. You can start complaining when they don't do well in the draft. You can complain then. Hold your horses.
But see, most NFL fans, a lot of them don't follow college. So most of those guys, most of the NFL fans, they don't get excited about the draft until that player comes on their team. Then they start looking at him. So most people don't even know 99% of the players that's going to be in this draft. There are some quality players in this draft that can make some impactful, make major impact on a team. And so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing who the Cowboys draft, because the Cowboys have been excellent at drafting. I'm also, as I said before, I'm very curious, probably more curious about who Jim Harbaugh is going to draft for the Los Angeles Chargers, because, seeing where these guys are at, I mean, it's very interesting. But kind of seeing what the Broncos do now. I think Sean Payton made a bad decision with Russ.
Yeah.
I mean, Russ performed well. The salary, it was going to hit your salary cap so hard that this decision on Russ might have doomed his tenure in Denver. I don't see how, if Sean Payton turns the Denver Broncos around, send him to the Hall of Fame, because he's already most likely a Hall of Fame coach anyway. But this will be a miracle. I feel like he's just put himself in a serious situation. Yeah. So.
I agree. All right, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about, does Caitlin Clark need to win a title to be the women's greatest of all time? So make sure you guys stick around, and we'll be right back.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing the NFL free agency and the Dallas Cowboys, and now we're going to be discussing, does Caitlin Clark need to win a title to be the women's greatest of all time? Caitlin Clark is sparking up some conversations lately.
You know what though? Here's the thing. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Caitlin Clark is the first woman that has really grabbed the media attention.
Mm-hmm.
So much has come about with her. Like a lot of times, some, women, if they get the spotlight, it's just for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's, Simone Biles, it's Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we are all excited. And then it's like, okay, go away. It's okay. This is the one female athlete that I feel like may have staying power.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying this is being sexist. I'm saying this because I am a supporter of women's athletics.
Mm-hmm.
And she is a beacon of hope that if she can move on to the WNBA and dominate,
Mm-hmm.
that would help so many other women in the game.
Absolutely.
She has the ability to lift up women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Once upon a time, and I know there's people that are going to flip out when I say this, but the NBA was in massive trouble. They were on verge of bankruptcy. And Magic Johnson and Larry Bird literally saved the NBA from going under and propelled it to brand new heights and got the views and everything. And then they passed the baton to Michael Jordan, and the NBA is this massive league. But go back and look at it and how horrible the ratings were, how hard it was to get the NBA on television. Mm-hmm. Kind of the way the WNBA is right now. Mm-hmm. People just don't watch the WNBA. When you look at the numbers, it's not there.
Yeah.
It needs a Caitlin Clark to rise things up, to get more people watching. Mm-hmm. I'm more excited about the women's NCAA tournament this year than I am the men's, strictly because of that one woman. I'm going to probably watch more of the women's tournament than the men's tournament this year, strictly because of who she is. So when they say, is she the greatest of all time? I don't know. She's in the conversation.
Well, they're saying that she hasn't won a championship yet, so she can't be the greatest of all time because she hasn't won a championship yet. So it's up for debate.
Okay. They go around and everyone is putting this whole kind of Michael Jordan moniker on things, that if you haven't won 6 championships, you're nothing.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, he walked on water, fed the homeless, baptized babies while floating in the air, dunking on fools. But championships are a team sport. Mm-hmm. I remember Michael Jordan getting bumped out of the playoffs time after time after time until he ended up getting the players around him, the Scottie Pippens, the Horace Grants, later on the Rodmans, and all those guys, to create a great team. Championships are a team sport. Mm-hmm. So you can take that whole, you got to win a championship, put it in a box, close it up, and throw it out the window. I don't buy it. Mm-hmm. But when I look at what her impact on the game, that's what makes someone great, is their impact on the game. And she has definitely had a massive impact on the game. Mm-hmm. And she has the ability to further the game more than any woman in the history of basketball has ever done. Mm-hmm. I remember the Cheryl Millers of the world, people don't realize how great Cheryl Miller was. That's Reggie Miller's sister. Many times they talk about how Reggie would talk about how Cheryl was better than him. Reggie Miller, Hall of Fame basketball player, his sister, in my opinion, was actually better. Diana Taurasi, she's an unreal player, but she doesn't have that spotlight like Caitlin Clark. The fact that Caitlin Clark has the ability to, in my eyes, put a spotlight in the NCAA tournament where they're expecting record numbers of viewing for the women's basketball tournament this year, strictly because of her, makes her one of the greats. When you look at her, what she's done in scoring, makes her one of the greats. Does she need to win a tournament to be considered the greatest of all time? I don't think so. But I tell you what, if she did, that's shit to all these fools.
Yeah. Well,
what else can you there's, but, and I'm going to tell you, because I've talked to numerous people about her. A lot of people do not want to give her the credit. And I keep hearing this over and over. Wait till she gets to the WNBA. Those girls are going to shut her down. Those girls are going to shut her down. Well, I hope they don't. And if you're a WNBA fan, that's the last thing you really want to see happen. Because this woman is box office.
yeah.
This woman is going to get television deals for the WNBA. This woman's going to create a bigger contract for college women's sports in general. And that's a good thing for all. If she's bringing more eyes and more money to women's sports, she's already the GOAT. Just like Serena brought a lot more eyes to women's tennis, she's the GOAT. Because women's sports, there are thousands of spectacular athletes out there that nobody knows about strictly because they're a woman. She's the GOAT because she's bringing attention to the women's game, and I love it. So she's already the GOAT in my eyes because she's doing great things for women and women's sports. And I don't care that she's a skinny white girl from Iowa. Game is game. Deal with the fact of what she's doing. And what she's doing on the court right now is second to none. No one has done what she has done on the court. When you're looking at numbers, no one has done what she has done as far as viewers. Butts in the seat. That's called greatness.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that Iowa's basketball game tickets have like skyrocketed since Caitlin Clark has been playing.
Before Caitlin Clark got there, outside of if you're living in Iowa or your mom or dad went to Iowa, or your baby's mama's cousin went to Iowa.
Becky went to Iowa.
Becky, she went to Iowa. Who was like, oh man, Iowa's women's basketball team is on TV.
I gotta watch that.
Sorry, I can't go out to dinner tonight because Iowa is playing.
Yeah.
You want to come over and watch Iowa women's basketball? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Caitlin, now you say Iowa women's basketball, you think of Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
People are curious. I had never watched an Iowa's women's basketball game in my life. Never even thought about it as a thing that even exists. It's kind of like that tree in the forest that you didn't know fell down.
Yeah.
Didn't even, you knew it was there, but you didn't really think about it. All of a sudden, I'm turning on highlights and watching entire games of Iowa because I want to see if Caitlin Clark's the real deal. I want to see her game. I'm curious about her game. That's greatness.
Yeah.
Greatness is when the casual fan, when you're not a regular fan and you're like, I have to tune in to see what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
People are tuning in to see what they're talking about. And they're talking about Caitlin Clark, the GOAT, the woman that's breaking all the basketball records, that's breaking all the viewing records. Mm-hmm. If you got the scoring record and you're getting the butts in the seats and the eyes on the TV, that's called greatness.
Yeah. Deal
with it.
Yeah, and I definitely feel like, if Caitlin Clark was a man, this stuff wouldn't be in question right now, and it wouldn't be such a heated debate as to whether or not they're the greatest or whatever.
See, these things kind of came along at a different time. It's what she's doing for women's sports, and that's what I care about.
Yeah.
That's what I care about, is give this woman her due. People show up and watch the games. Mm-hmm. I'm going to watch the games just because I want extra ratings to go there. Yeah. I'm going to watch. If you care about women and women's sport, tune in and watch it, because that helps all tides rise. Mm-hmm. And I'm for that.
Period.
Didn't mean to get all. I totally got on my soapbox on this one.
But I'm happy about it. Good. It's great to hear. Good job.
Thank you. Well, I cured Faith I'm about to say hangover, migraine with my speech.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into our oddities of the day, so make sure you stay tuned. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier we were discussing, does Caitlin Clark need to win a title to be the women's greatest of all time? And now, as always, at the end of the show, we're going to dive into our oddities of the day. Tate, Buc-ee's is back.
Oh, suck it, duck it. I'm going to Buc-ee's.
Well, it's funny that you say that. Because a man was banned from Buc-ee's for life after bringing a service duck to the store.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, wait a minute.
Yeah.
These stories, I have no clue what Faith is going to give me. That's the whole fun about this. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I said sucky ducky going to Buc-ee's is crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So a man was banned from all Bucky stores for life after bringing his service duck into the chain's Tennessee store. The man, Justin Wood, posted a video of the incident on his YouTube account earlier this year. The YouTube channel, aptly dubbed Seductive, has close to 3 million followers and features videos of Wood bringing his service duck to various locations, including a Subway, Chuck E. Cheese, and a Hooters restaurant. In the Buc-ee's video, Wood is shown bringing his duck named Wrinkle to the chain's largest location near Sevierville, Tennessee. During the video, an employee comes over to tell Wood that pets aren't allowed in the store, though Wood explained that Wrinkle is a service animal. He said, "I can give you 3 forms of identification right now if you'd like," he said in his video. The employee responded saying, "I just wanted to make sure." "Okay, thank you." Wood and Wrinkle then shopped around the store a bit more, though another employee approaches Wood and tells him that pets aren't allowed in the store. The employee said, "You're more than welcome to stay here. The animal cannot. There's no pets in here. Your animal, even if it's considered a service animal, you have to be able to contain it, and it can fly out." Wood points out that Wrinkle was contained, laid down in a stroller he brought to the store, but the employee insisted that he would need to either take Wrinkle out of the store or put her on a leash. The video then shows Wood putting an imaginary leash around Wrinkle's neck before putting the duck on the ground and having her follow him behind. The employee said, "Okay, I'll call the cops." After purchasing a case of water bottles, Wood is shown leaving the store, and an officer pulls up in a patrol vehicle speaking to Wood. Wood provides Wrinkle's ID to the officer, who tells Wood that he's been banned from all Buc-ee properties going forward, including both the parking lots and inside the store. Ultimately, it was not the police officer's decision, but he said if you're caught on the property, you'll be charged with trespassing.
I'm gonna let you go first.
So
I'm gonna pop my pinky and drink me a Red Bull over here.
So the Buc-ee's pets policy states the following. The health code prohibits live animals, including dogs, where food could potentially be contaminated. There are exceptions, however, for service animals and animals that work with police officers. For people with disabilities, specially trained service animals play an absolute vital role. They make it possible for those with disabilities to work, travel, stay safe, and in some cases, stay alive. By false claiming that your pet is a service animal, you are poisoning attitudes towards the true service animals. In addition, if you enter a facility where an actual service animal is working, your untrained animal may jeopardize the safety of the service around its handler. So, okay. For me, I think it's a little weird that this guy has a duck as a service animal, but who am I to judge? Maybe that is the best.
Oh, I'm judging. No, I'm judging.
Duck on the planet. Who knows? But I don't, especially with reading the pet policy for Buc-ee's, I don't think that they are in the right to kick him and his duck out and then banning him for life from all Buc-ee's, which I don't know how that's going to hold up. What are they going to do? Post a big...
That's right.
big
old sign. Darkwing Duck is not welcome.
Like, it's just... I don't know. Pick and choose your battles, man.
No, pick and choose your service animal, people. First off,
have you seen him? He wears little shoes and everything, though. He's so cute. It's a cute little duck.
Don't care. I don't care if he got a top hat. He looks like Scrooge McDuck. He got a monocle and everything else. I don't care. There needs to be some guidelines on what is considered a service animal. While you were reading, I was looking up service animals that people have claimed, because I remember they banned on some flight because some person got on the plane and claimed that was their emotional support peacock.
Somebody, there was a story a couple months ago that this guy brought in or tried to go into a baseball game with an emotional support alligator.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. No. So I started looking up. Listen to this, people. Emotional support turkey. Gobble, gobble. No. And the only turkey that can emotionally support you are between two slices of bread. I'm sorry. That is my emotional support turkey. Emotional support ferret. Nope, not allowing that in Buc-ee's either.
Oh, but it's a ferret.
Nope. Emotional support goat.
Oh.
Goat. Emotional support squirrel.
Oh.
We mentioned the peacock. A monkey. Monkeys are smart. I'm gonna let the monkeys slide because monkeys can do a lot. Monkeys are smart.
Who's saying ferrets aren't smart?
They're not. Listen, ferrets are not monkeys smart. Dogs and monkeys, I'm allowing. Let's keep on down the line. Emotional support kangaroo? Oh, hell no. You are not hopping along with your kangaroo walking into the place. Oh, excuse me, sir, but this is my emotional support kangaroo. So you have to let him in. My emotional support miniature horse.
Oh.
My emotional support turkey. Turtle. My emotional support donkey. No, you don't get a donkey as emotional support. My emotional support hedgehog. My emotional support
hedgehog.
pig.
Hedgehog.
Hedgehogs are cute. Hedgehogs are super cute. Especially when they're in water and they're doing the backstroke in the water.
Yes.
My emotional support pig. Pigs are mega smart. I'm still not letting them in. My emotional support.
What if you keep it clean? What if you keep it clean?
I don't care. I don't care if he comes in with a shower cap and a back scrubber. No, you're not coming in here, Piggy Wiggly. Sorry, nope, not coming in here. My emotional support snake. My favorite, because I've always had them as pets. My bearded dragon, some most emotional support. Bearded dragons, you can take them a lot of places. They're pretty calm and laid back. Marmoset, emotional support marmoset. Who has those?
What is a marmoset?
Marmoset's like a monkey and a possum had a baby. I don't quite know what they are. And last, emotional support rat. I show up to Buc-ee's.
Oh my God, these things are so cute.
I show up to Buc-ee's and somebody got a rat on the counter. I'm never going back to Buc-ee's again. The hell with the buck nuggets.
Sorry. Beaver nuggets.
Nuggets. You're the one that started with the buck nuggets. I got buck nuggets from you. I've never been in a buck. Yep, you said you like the buck nuggets.
I don't know if I said buck nuggets though. I think we might have to go back and check those receipts.
Check the tape. We actually got this on video because when you said buck nuggets, I lost my mind because
Beaver nuggets is even
I thought about like butt nuggets, and I'm like, oh no, you eating buck nuggets? But all these animals are not emotional support animals. I'm cool with a monkey. I'm cool with a dog. Society has accepted emotional support animals when it comes to like a dog. You got a CNI dog, you got things like that. They also have those monkeys and they do a lot of things for people. I'm for them. A monkey can go run over, get some stuff off the counter, go get you a drink, comb your hair, brush your teeth, do it all. Your emotional support duck is doing nothing but looking at you quacking. Quack, quack. No, he is not coming into Buc-ee's at all unless he is basting himself and sauce. Then you can emotionally support him by getting on the rotisserie.
Stop. Stop it.
I'm serious. My emotional support turkey is from Oscar Mayer. That's my emotional support
Boar's
turkey. Exactly. If you're rolling into a place and you got a duck or a peacock, or you imagine somebody walking in to a place and they got their emotional support donkey. No, you can't do that. The marmoset is kind of cool though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's so cute too. I didn't even know what a marmoset was.
I don't know if he can get his emotional support paperwork, but he does seem like a cool dude to have around the house.
Yeah.
The Andrew Tate Show emotional support marmoset, just having to sit right beside Faith as she does the show.
Sit on my chair.
He must, because Faith has a migraine, so your emotional support marmoset sits there and massage your scalp and temples and make sure you can make it through the show. That's all.
I'm down with that.
That's all.
As long as I don't have to pay for it.
But I'm sorry. I am going straight prejudice when it comes to the birds. No turkey, no duck, and no peacock can be an emotional support
What about parrots?
animal.
What about parrots? They can talk. And
Parrots can talk. They can go get things. You know, especially if you got one eye and you got a patch. I'm gonna allow the emotional support parrot.
The first emotional support animal ever was
that is the
parrot.
original emotional support animal. He's the OG. Parrots get a pass.
Mm-hmm.
We all agree on that one, right? Captain Hook, he lost his eye. He was depressed. He was having some issues. He got a parrot, took care of everything for him. Parrots get a pass. That's the only bird that gets a pass. You can't walk in there with Darkwing Duck. I'm sorry.
Why did you get... is Darkwing Duck something I don't know?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, Darkwing Duck. On DuckTales. Wait, no. Is Darkwing Duck is Daffy Duck, right? Look up Darkwing Duck. Now I gotta look this up too. I gotta get it. See. I think that's Yep, see, now you understand what I'm talking about. So it is DuckTales.
It had its own shows. Darkwing Duck. He had his own show.
He was a duck superhero.
What is it with Disney and ducks, man?
The fact is, it's sad that you don't even know who Darkwing Duck is. So there's a whole group of our audience that did not know who Darkwing Duck is. Faith, no wonder you were probably looking at me like, why does he keep calling the duck Darkwing Duck?
Yeah, I was really confused, but I was like, okay.
Sometimes you just gotta let Tate go, just pat him on the head and put him in the corner. So,
I thought it was like Becky or something like that, Which yesterday I was sitting having a conversation with somebody, and somebody was actually talking about a real lady named Becky, and they said the name Becky, and I just started laughing, and he looked at me like, "What's so funny?" I was like, "It's an inside joke. You won't get it."
It is a total inside joke. Even my friends, I get messages when they watch the show and it's like, oh no, not Becky again.
Oh, Becky's up to no good.
Becky is up to no good. See, because we have this generational gap, I'm saying things like Darkwing Duck, and you have no clue what I'm talking about, which is hilarious. That's my own little inside joke. So you got to look up Darkwing Duck. You taught me about buck nuggets.
Beaver nuggets, but yes. When you come down to the States, you have to go to Buc-ee's and experience Buc-ee's.
Listen, I have traveled to every state in the U.S. except for Hawaii and Alaska, and have spent extensive time in all 48 continental U.S. states. Extensive time. I've never seen a Buc-ee's. They're
pretty big. They're a big deal. Big deal in South at least. I know people who will drive to Buc-ee's for the day. My grandma has done that, actually. My grandma has driven up.
See, I'm glad you interrupted me before I said what I was going to say. I was going to say something bad about those people spending the day, but grandma's spending there, so I'm going to shut up. I'm going to shut up about bad-mouthing people who go into Buc-ee's for the day because grandma went there.
My grandma does it. I know people who I went to high school do that. They will drive 2-3 hours to go spend the day at Buc-ee's.
Do they have dates?
Dates? What do you mean?
Yes, meaning they don't have. I'm picturing these people not able to get a date and not much of a social life. If you're driving 3 hours to go to Buc-ee's to spend the day at Buc-ee's, they need to start swiping left and right on Tinder because they need a date. They need more things in life.
I'll relay the message to my grandma.
Now, I'm giving little old ladies they get a pass. But if you're 25, 26, 35, and you're driving 3-4 hours to get to Buc-ee's because you're planning on spending the whole day at Buc-ee's and hanging out, and you got to drive 3-4 hours back home, or you got to get a hotel because you're spending the whole day at Buc-ee's, you need more spice in your life. And if you're doing this and you have a significant other, couples therapy. Y'all need to spice things up in that relationship. I'm just saying.
All right. Well,
therapy will help you.
With that, guys,
not a bag of buck nuggets.
With that, guys, we're gonna close out the show. Apparently, don't have a duck as an emotional support animal. We learned that lesson.
And no emotional support animal that's a duck or peacock or a donkey, and don't drive halfway across country and spend 14 hours in a Buc-ee's. That was the only thing I asked that you don't do.
All right. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, presented by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, the migraine will be gone. Peace.
Buck nuggets.
Buck nuggets. Bye, guys.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't